good wins, inspiring great lives like yours. We all desire good. We yearn for the happy ending and are hardwired to expect it. Today it can be easy to lose hope, become discouraged. Good can seem tricky to find. Good Winds says this: regardless of how things appear, good, as you define it, will prevail. What you're going through right now will somehow work to your advantage, and everything will be okay.
Hello and welcome. It's nice to be with you. There's a song from years ago titled, "What the World Needs Now is Love." I could add to that. What the world needs now is a belief that everything will be okay. A belief that while evil, wrong, sadness, loss, fear, and everything bad may appear prominent, it will not win. I have prepared something just for you, a reminder that good wins. Goodness prevails. Good things will happen to you and for you. I invite you to rest for a moment. Set aside your cares and concerns. May the next 15 minutes give you comfort, assurance, and hope. Forgiveness is a funny thing. Some say forgiving is an act of weakness, but actually it demonstrates strength. Today, forgiveness seems old-fashioned. We don't see it modeled often. However, in times of distrust and conflict, dysfunction and difficulty, it is especially important. Why is forgiveness uncommon? Because it is often considered optional and unnecessary. Also, like most things of value, it is simple, but not easy. We often avoid doing the hard thing, even though it may be just what we need. Forgiving is incredibly powerful. Granting forgiveness is one of our best qualities, something we do for those around us and for ourselves. It takes only a moment to do, and the benefits last a very long time. The title of my message today is The Beauty and Power of Forgiveness. You might ask yourself, why would I forgive a person who hurt me? This is an honest question. It's normal to feel anger or a host of negative emotions when someone hurts you or someone you love. On the surface, it seems if you offer forgiveness, you are rewarding those who have done wrong. You're doing them a favor, like they somehow win. And if they win, you lose. Why then would we forgive someone? At least two reasons. First, holding on to the negative emotions associated with loss or pain takes a toll, like carrying a heavy weight. We feel better when we let it go. Second, it frees you for what comes next. Instead of looking at and living in the past, when the offense took place, your focus can return to the present and to the future. Notice, both of these reasons benefit little the person who did the hurting and benefit greatly the person who offers the forgiveness. You win by offering forgiveness. It doesn't make you smaller, it makes you larger. You're not weak to offer forgiveness. It takes strength. May I tell you a story to illustrate my point? I worked for the local hospital for many years. It was a good fit for me. I did well and earned several promotions. I became a member of the executive team. After several years, the longtime CEO I reported to decided to retire. A search was held to find her replacement. When you're an executive and a new CEO is hired, you are often vulnerable. They sometimes change those who report directly to them. I knew this, but I felt my years of service, my experience, and ideas I had for the future would help the new person see just how valuable I was. Not so. The new CEO arrived in the summer. By Thanksgiving, I was let go. After 21 years of feeling valuable and connected, I was quickly on the outside. This surprised me, but not as much as the apparent ease at which she did it. How little effort it took on her part, as if removing me was a task on her list of things to do. Check, done, what's next? It seemed so casual to her, so easy to brush me aside. I was angry and hurt. The income I enjoyed was gone. The influence, the sense of purpose I felt was gone. I was once proud of my accomplishments and knew that part of my identity came from the job and title I held. Even my identity took a hit, all because of one person. I would love to tell you that I quickly dusted myself off, got over it, and found an even better job. Also not so. I let the anger live inside me for way too long. I knew that holding on to regret, anger, any negative emotions was holding me back from a promising future. I was feeling better. The anger and hurt was less, but I just couldn't quite get rid of it. Here's how I knew. When I'd see a friend, they would ask how I was. Was I still at the hospital? My answer revealed that I hadn't resolved my negativity. I'd say something like, "No, my position was eliminated shortly after the new CEO arrived." Instead of saying that I left and leaving it at that, I needed to place blame. I felt compelled to be something I despise, a victim. That's when I knew I was in trouble. Then something unexpected happened. She lost her job. If I'm honest, a part of me wanted to celebrate. It felt like justice, vindication. But really, it was a hollow victory. What was gained? 2 wrongs don't make a right. 2 bads don't make a good. I may have felt vindicated for a short time, but her losing her job didn't help me at all. How did I let go? Like most things, it took an honest look at myself. I wasn't free of the hurt. I was holding on to the anger. This is what really convinced me. I realized there were 2 people involved, me and her. Was she thinking about me? Was she having second thoughts about letting me go? Was she concerned about my welfare? No, she was not. If she's not thinking about me, then my anger is hurting only me. I was the only one still carrying around any burden. It was time to let go. It was time to forgive. There are many ways to forgive. I can tell you what worked for me. It needed to be formal. It didn't need to be long, but it needed to be well thought out. I wanted to do it once, then walk away. It also needed to be out loud. I needed to speak the words, even though I was alone. Sometimes forgiveness needs to be given directly to another person. If forgiveness will help the other person in any way, then include them. In this case, I reasoned that forgiveness was for me alone, and I could be alone when I gave it. Speaking the words out loud was like a release. I felt better immediately. I knew I was ready to move forward. Your life moves in the direction of your mind. If you're thinking backwards to the past, then you will move backwards. If your mind is set on what lies ahead, then ahead is where you will go. Ahead is where life happens, where dreams become reality, and where you will find what it is that you desire. There are barriers that can prevent us from moving forward. Our minds can work against us when it comes to offering forgiveness. There have likely been times in your life when you were treated unfairly, where someone hurt you or left you. Maybe an accident happened. Whatever the case, you were hurt, and it wasn't your fault. Time passes and you accept it, but instead of letting go, you get stuck in something that feels good, being right. This is our body's way of replacing pain with something that feels good. We tell ourselves that it never should have happened. There's no excuse for it. You don't deserve it. In fact, 100 people may agree with you. 1,000 may all say, "You're right. You got a raw deal." Often, this translates to, "I am in the right, the other person is wrong." You are technically correct. It wasn't your fault. You did get a raw deal. But you're standing on principle. You're probably still angry, maybe even indignant. Being right doesn't make the situation better. It doesn't relieve the pain. A wise person once told me, "You can be right or you can be effective." In other words, you can be right all day long, but be miserable. You can be right and nothing happens, nothing changes, trapped in the same fight you've been in since the hurt began. Being right is nice, but it's overrated. A better way forward is to be effective. Being happy, being free, and being past the hurt is even better. Do what you can to change the situation. I know this. I cannot do one thing to change the past. I cannot do one thing to change someone else. What can I do? I can do something that is in my control and that helps me. I can let go of what's holding me back. May I speak to you from my heart? I chose the title Good Wins as a reminder that when life is hard, it will be beautiful again, to be enjoyed. Sometimes things stand in the way of our best life. Life is better, life is good, when you let go of whatever holds you back. If you're holding on to anger, bitterness, or anything negative, I urge you to let it go. You can spend your energy in other places that will move you toward the life you desire. Forgiveness is a wonderful thing, a gift you give to the person who hurt you and to yourself. Forgiveness doesn't change the past. It might change the person who hurt you, or it may not. It changes you. Forgiveness is not free. There is a cost. It takes a bit of courage. You are strong enough to offer it to yourself or to someone else. Pay the price, then enjoy the benefits. It is a true statement that you must let go of the past to receive the future. Forgiveness frees you to accept the amazing life that is in store for you. Forgiveness allows you to break the bonds that hold you back, that keep you in neutral. Friends, life moves only forward and it never stops. Don't remain stuck while life passes by. Don't look backward to the past. Look forward to the future. Is something standing between you and someone you care about? Could a few carefully chosen words repair a relationship? Maybe forgiveness is all that's needed. Maybe you hesitate to forgive because you don't know how the other person will feel, how they will react. Let me assure you, I've never met a person who didn't appreciate being on the receiving end of a forgiveness given sincerely. I wish for you all the rewards that come from letting go, forgiving a wrong, regardless of who's at fault. Many people have all the trappings of a good life, yet they hold on to a grudge, hold on to a wrong that happened long ago. If the still, small voice in your heart is speaking to you about forgiving, if it is guiding you in that direction, please listen, then act. You will be glad you did.